G'day everyone, welcome back to another episode. So this week I'm going to get into painting the hard dodger and the aft deck here. I had to already finish off a couple little jobs today, so I've already been at work for a couple of hours, but I've got to sand all this area here, and there's something else we need to look at. So this pedestal, I'm happy with the shape of it, and it is a pretty solid piece of steel. You know, I think it looks good. It's got a nice angle to it. However, the steering section does sit a little high, and an opportunity came up for this pedestal. Now this was already a steering wheel I bought ages ago, so this cost me an arm and leg, this steering wheel, but it's brand new. This pedestal is very cheap, because you may be able to notice with some of the boats that are around here, a lot of them are actually just scrap boats. So let's see if we can have a look. But there's even a group of guys down there who are cutting up a trimaran, and this one is probably going to get cut up. That one's going to get cut up. There's another blue boat all the way down the back that's going to get cut up. So there's a lot of scrap boats here at this boatyard. You know, people have dreams of owning the boat, restoring a boat, and they end up giving up. But you know, that's just the nature. Boats aren't cheap. People run out of steam. One of the boats that are getting cut up, this was on it. So I offered this club here, you know, a bit of cash, and said, look, how much if I bought this? So I got it pretty cheap. If I open this up, you can see how long it's been since it's been used. We've got a funnel web in there, but what I really wanted was all this gearing mechanism, because that will, if I wanted to keep that, I could just transfer all this drive mechanism from that pedestal into this pedestal, and I could save myself a lot of work by having to machine up some gears, get some cogs, so that would save me a lot of work, and I got that for a steal. Basically it was pretty cheap. However, after looking at that, I'm thinking, why don't I just install that and neaten it up, repaint it, you give it a new lead on life, cut that off, instead of doing all the hard work of dismantling it, butchering it, and then having to make that suit that. I might as well just install that over there. So that's another job I'm going to do today. I'm not going to install it because it still needs to be sanded back, painted, all the parts serviced and everything. However, I can cut this off before I paint, so let's get that done. I've already put a towel over my hatch because that's been installed, and I don't want to get sparks and everything all over it, so that's protected, and the rest of the deck is clear. So let's cut this off and start prepping everything ready to be painted. Let's just have a look at this steering wheel. So I've got a magnet here, and that magnet has a thread on it, and I can just hang the steering wheel on that thread. It's a little off to the side because I need the magnet strength on the steel, and yeah, we would have it over a little bit, but yeah, this steering wheel is okay. If I put my arm out straight, that's the height of my arm. So it means if I was to try and comfortably rest on top of the steering wheel, my arm will be up higher, in a higher position. So it's not as comfortable as if I had it down lower. Now if we finish using this steel one, I'd also have a panel, instrument panel up here. Now as you can see, I've put the camera exactly where my eyes are, and that will block my view into the cabin. So you know, that's what we originally intended to do, I guess, but now that I've got that other steering wheel panel, it's opened up some other ideas, because that one over there is much smaller. We'll bring it over here in a second, have a look. But it's much smaller, so steering wheel drops down, the instrument panel drops down, and means I could see into the cabin at all times to make sure everything's going on down below deck is okay, as well as I still have full view around for the boat. So dropping this down probably does make sense. It like drastically reduces the amount of work, so I don't have to build the internals of this structure, put a clutch on, put a like throttle control on the side. I don't have to do all that. It's already done on that other one. I just got to make it pretty. So let's bring the other one over and see. All right, well, this is a little bit uncomfortable, okay, but uncomfortable. Let's see if the other one's better. Okay, it is off to the side just slightly, but you can see the steering wheel is just a little bit above the top of this, so it's a fair way like lower. It's probably what, that much lower. Even if I did put an instrument cluster on here, if we have a look, it's only going to block up to basically the step there anyway. I'm not going to pop a compass on top. I'll have a different sort of compass on board somewhere, and all electronic GPS and all that, but I'm not going to rely on electronics. I will have a compass, but I think this spot here could be better used with my displays. So this all works well. So my arm is perfectly straight, so that's going to be more comfortable. Got that nice grab rail there already made, and no matter what I do, if I put my arms up here or if I put the instrument cluster on there, I can still see directly into the cockpit, into the saloon area there. So I'm happy to cut this off and fully replace the whole system with this. That drastically reduces the amount of work I have to do. Ideally, what I should do, which I'm not going to, but what I should do is cut a plate out the same size as this pedestal, weld that completely on, and then drill the holes through. And what that will enable me to do is, if we get water into this cockpit, you know, you've got that mechanical barrier for the water not to ingress into the boat, because you're going to have 4 holes plus the hole that the chain goes through for the steering, and electrical wires and whatnot. You're going to have all that, and if your sealing, if your silicon doesn't, like, if it just doesn't work, you can get water ingress into your boat. Unfortunately, I'm not going to worry about that just yet, because I've already painted the inside of the boat, and if I do get water ingress, I can just loosen the bolts up, redo the silicon, or even have a rubber gasket for it. Save me a lot of work. I won't have to repaint the inside of the boat, and worst case scenario, if I do get sick and tired of that, if it happens too often, I can still weld the plate on and do everything I just said later anyway. So let's get this looked at as you know, getting in place, and cut this one off, so then we can prep the rest of this area for paint. I know that's been a lot of talking, but you know, it's change of direction, let everyone know. So let's get to doing some work now. Alright, I've done a couple of days work since the last time I filmed, but everything's prepared for paint. So I've done a combination of blasting and mechanical prepping. So I've just finished cleaning all this, so we're ready to lay some paint down. But I had to get all in that corner, all around the back ends of that dinghy davit, get in all the companionway here, and take all the rust off of what I welded up here the other week. So I'm going to start cracking into some paint. I'll start by stripe coating everything that I can't get with a roller, and then continuing on with the roller. Alright, so we got all the painting done on the aft there, well nearly all the painting done. So we've got a nice strip here, just neat, a nice neat strip, just because we wanted to get a bit of paint in that interface between the joins there. All paint up on the roof, and you can sort of see some footsteps because the white paint really shows up when you've got muddy boots on. But check it out, it's pretty white. It starts to look good when you get rid of all the rust and the grey and the brown. So it's starting to look really nice now. Got paint up in the top, paint up here. The aft deck is nice and white and big. So I didn't paint these guys because we're a little bit we're second guessing how this looks. Thinking about removing this top piece, maybe angling these a little bit more. Not that this is bad, but we think we can come up with a better plan. So we might remove this whole piece and then replace it with a fiberglass roof. Like sandwich foam, layers of fiberglass top and bottom, and then that will go all the way out to that far point and come all the way across, and then come up to in line with this hard dodger, but up here. And that will be just one big roof, instead of having this solar arch and then a bimini just underneath. So I was thinking that I'll extend this post up and have it arch over to that side, then that post will come up over to this post, and then the same as that post there will come up and over to that post, and we might have a canvas or a hard top on top of that stainless steel. However, we might look at just having this piece made out of foam core fiberglass and come all the way across in one piece. It'll be stronger, less joins, so that means there's less chances of water getting in and rain and whatnot. So that would be a little bit of a better, neater design. It just means I've got to do some rework, but sometimes you can't understand how things work until you build it, and if you're happy, you're happy. If not, you take it down and do it again. So we might be redoing that again. So I didn't paint that because I might be doing some more work on it, but pretty happy with the way it looks. So nice and white. So this is the undercoat, basically the proper undercoat. Still got this guy. I'll put that was undercoated in grey, but I just thought I'd touch it up with some white paint. And on top of this we'll have a tie coat, and then we're going to fair the deck, and then on top of that we'll put another undercoat, and then your top coat over the top of that. So this is the proper rust protection, and then yeah, still got multiple layers to build it up and make this all nicer, perfectly smooth deck. So still a whole heap of work, but we're making progress. So you guys leave a comment and let me know what you think. And yeah, that was a fair bit of effort, and yeah, we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks. Thanks everyone.